What's up, everybody? This is Play Action Takes, Apollo Media's NFL podcast brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. They've got specials running pretty much every day of the week, so go check out Big City Wings in the greater Houston area, as this sponsor is also sponsored by Celebrity Mint. Go check out their awesome graded collectibles of Mike Tyson, Ric Flair, and more at CelebrityMint.com. Go check out Celebrity Mint. I am here with just Garrett, and I'm just getting ready for -2-degree weather. Kansas City.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty gross for the Miami Dolphins, but it's playoff time. We're here. We made it. It's the playoffs. We're both there. Who would have thought?
Look at us. Look at us. You know, we're all year long. We were like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we were both experiencing, postseason football? Wouldn't that be the dream? And then, hey, here we are. We're both playing Saturday, wild card Saturday,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun time. Which before we start, I have a fucking bone to pick with the NFL.
Oh, shit.
As always.
All right.
I mean, I'm a little fucking tired of having the first game of every wildcard weekend be the Texans game. For the entirety of their existence.
Yeah.
Like for I think 7 times they've made the playoffs in their existence. They've won the division. And every single time out of those 7 times, they've been on the first game on wildcard Saturday.
Would you rather?
It's just got to be a long running bit at this point. It has to be.
Yes, 100%. Would you rather be the Sunday at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock our time, God's time zone?
I would love that.
Okay.
I would love for once to be on the second day of wildcard weekend, or maybe the Monday night game.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Sure.
But having the be in the first game of wildcard Saturday is just kind of like it's always been a slap to the face. At least this time it's on NBC. Usually it's on ESPN, and it's just kind of gross. ESPN on Saturdays is just gross to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But this time's on NBC, which is okay. But I'm a little fucking. I'm just tired of it. Tired of it. Give us another day, man. Just give us a different day.
You could be on Peacock.
Oh, I'm glad we're not. You know what? I'm done crying because that sucks.
As a Real Housewives truther, we already have Peacock, so it's fine on our end. Like, I'm gonna be fine. I already have Peacock, but for the tens of thousands of other Miami fans that are wanting to watch it and can't watch it on local TV because it's on Peacock, and all the Taylor Swift fans, like, this was the greatest NFL ploy of all time, is getting Taylor Swift fans to download Peacock for a month.
Absolutely, because they will. Because, well, I don't know. It'd be pretty funny if they all got Peacock and Taylor was just like, no, it's too cold. I'm not going.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't go. I feel like this 100% is one of those games where Taylor would go if it was about 40 or 50 degrees warmer than what it is.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's just too damn cold for anyone to go and enjoy it.
I think it's getting down to like 10 with -8 wind chill.
Man, that's cold. That's some cold weather football right there.
Yeah, I was just in Miami, 75 degrees, sunny, a little breeze, so you can wear long sleeve and shorts and just be really comfortable.
There you go.
Yeah, it was tremendous. And then I got back to Texas, and it turns out it's 30 and windy and terrible outside.
It's fucking cold here in Texas. So welcome back.
Yeah, this is great.
Looks like you're ready though. Like
I'm all bundled up.
Ready to go.
I got my starter jacket on. Got the beanie. Just rocked and loaded, for -2-degree weather. I'm not going, but I'm gonna feel like I am.
You should just sit like that in your place watching it or wherever you go.
I'm gonna put gloves on. I'm gonna crank my thermostat down to 10 degrees if it goes that low. I don't think it does. I actually don't know how low my thermostat goes.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't think it's 10.
No, probably not. I'll try. I'll just sit outside and watch from the window.
Yeah, you could try it.
It'll be the same thing. But we'll get into playoff talk later this week on Thursday. We'll preview every game from Saturday to Monday. Monday night game is weird. We'll talk about that later. Sorry.
Yeah.
Our Houston Texans won the AFC South.
I'm a little happy boy because getting in the playoffs is one thing. Just straight up winning your division, being first, and just hosting a playoff game at home.
Must be nice.
Didn't get better than that. And I'm sorry we can't share that feeling because but I mean, I'm just glad we were able to prove something this year, All year long we've been flirting with, are we a good team? Are we a playoff team? What are we? I'm like asking about our relationship status. I'm like, what are we? I'm constantly overthinking. I'm like, I'm not overthinking this, right? And then lo and behold, the Jaguars, they choke it all away and they just hand us the division on a silver platter. So I can't believe it.
Yeah, so the Texans game, if you want the full recap, go over to Off the Gridiron on Apollo HOU's YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bells so you don't miss an episode. But Texans look good against Indianapolis. I won't say they looked tremendous, but they looked good, and they looked good enough. They were able to run the ball a little bit. CJ Stroud, obviously on the first play of the game, throws a 75-yard touchdown to Nico Collins. Sick, pretty tremendous.
Yeah, I was talking about it on Off the Gridiron, so go check it out from what I was saying. But that was his best. That was CJ Stroud's best game of his career up until this point. I mean, five touchdowns is one thing, but being shorthanded at receiver and also just all the injuries that the Texans have collectively going into that game, and then just putting up like a 134 passer rating and just basically carrying the team on your back. Yeah, no, that guy's ready. That guy's ready for some playoff football, I think.
Yeah, and obviously a lucky break at the end of the game with the Colts running back just dropping a pass. It wasn't the best pass of all time. It wasn't entirely on target, but it was there and it hit his hands. He said it in the locker room. I was very surprised. I can't remember what his name is, but in the locker room,
Tyler Goodson.
He goes, "It hit my hands. No excuses. That's what it is."
Yeah,
So
I did see that video and I was like,
awful. Felt awful for him.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, I'm gonna take our dubs. I'm gonna take those because
For sure.
it's not often. Hey man, the Colts, and this is just to the Colts fans. I've seen y'all win a Super Bowl. I've seen y'all go to another Super Bowl. I've seen y'all go to the AFC Championship game in the last 10 years. Okay? Just shut up. All right? You'll have AR next year. You'll be good. You'll be fine. Let us have a chance. Let us have something. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. So let's get into the AFC South real quick because we did have some breaking news earlier today, a few hours ago. If you didn't see it, Mike Vrabel fired from the Tennessee Titans in a shocking move, to say the least.
Yeah, very surprised because you know that video of him at the presser, like right before the game, and he's like kind of got emotional, and he was like, "We're not fucking done. Like, we're gonna play. We're gonna play this game hard, like, as if it like we are gonna get in the playoffs or whatever." And I mean, that's just to me that was like, yeah. So he's for sure their coach still, right?
Yes.
And then won against the Jaguars, and it was like a pretty impressive win. It was like, all right, and then they just dump him. So I don't know what the thought process there. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, as a fan of a team that fired a coach after a winning back-to-back winning seasons and missing the playoffs both years, 9-8, Brian Flores got fired the morning after beating the Patriots in week 18, I guess, of 2021. In a weird, he beat them. We were like, well, we were 1-7, and then we finished 9-8. Good season. That was good. And then they fired him, first thing the next morning. And it was the most mind-boggling thing of all time. But then you start to hear all of the leaks of Brian Flores just being a literal cancer in the locker room and just treating people terribly, essentially, players included. I haven't heard that out of Mike Vrabel. I would assume he has a lot of Belichickian type of tendencies, but I think he's more of a player's coach than a hard ass.
Yeah, I've never heard anything about Mike Vrabel clashing or maybe not clashing, but being like a cancer or being mean to the players like Brian Flores was mean to Tua and all that, which is still very not funny, but it's like he was just bullying his starting quarterback. Wild. But maybe I think it's purely front office shit for Tennessee. I think they want a yes man. I don't think Mike Vrabel is a yes man. He's a hard ass. He comes from the New England way of like it's my way or the highway, and it's worked out for him. I think he's been one of the better New England umbrella coaching tree coaches, and forever. I think the ownership in the front office really were just like we don't think you agree with us as much as we want. So goodbye.
That was my thinking is why did they fire Vrabel and not the GM? Unless Vrabel was the one pulling all the strings, because trading AJ Brown, bad decision. Getting Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback and getting 1.5 good seasons out of him, and then not getting another quarterback in the building, bad decision. relying on Ryan Tannehill in any situation is a bad decision, if you ask me. And especially
You
that
know all too
happens
well.
in that Chiefs game in the AFC Championship where they had the lead
Yeah.
at halftime, and then it just all went to shit. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just I don't think that was a coaching problem. They had a lot of injuries this year. Jeff Simmons didn't play the whole year. AJ Brown's not there anymore. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is fine, but he's older. Ryan Tannehill is like 35, 36, and we know what Ryan Tannehill is. Then you put in Will Levis. Will Levis gets hurt. Derrick Henry is, I mean, he's got a bajillion carries on him. You can't rely on him 100% of the time anymore. You have no weapons, really, and your defense was kind of hurt. It's not on Vrabel, I don't think.
It's definitely not on Vrabel because when I see the Tennessee Titans, they're a bad team, but that's
Yeah.
just because they have a bad roster.
Yes.
Coaching wise, I think their schemes and how they execute it is like, wow, that's, I mean, they can, if they just had more talent, like they would be a fine team. They would be a decent team.
Yeah.
You know, they just didn't have the talent. And that's why I put it squarely on the front office because it's like, you know, they don't do anything to really address. They just always take steps backwards. And this is Tennessee for forever, you know, the past 20
Right.
years. They'll just take steps backwards and think they're, you know, doing the right thing. Like trading AJ Brown was maybe the collapse or the start of the collapse, I'd say, because no one would trading your star receiver and then drafting Traylon Burks with, and then maybe thinking that he could replicate that production.
Right.
That's not good thinking.
No,
That's not good ball right there. It's not a
very,
good ball knowing.
very stupid because he was asking for $100 million or 4 or 5 years. So either $20 to $25 million a year, but a lot of that's going to be signing bonus right off the top. So it's like, it's not killing your salary cap situation. I mean, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, everybody's got these big deals now. Justin Jefferson's going to get one. Jamar Chase is going to get one. Obviously, AJ Brown got one with the Eagles. It's not going to kill your salary cap situation. And now it's proved in the NFL that you need the guy at wide receiver on your roster in order to be an incredible team.
Absolutely. This is a receivers league. You know, you think about all the teams that are really good, they have at least one or two really, really good receivers and at least one star receiver. Like, think about, I mean, your Miami Dolphins. Where would you be without Tyreek Hill?
Oh, we've seen that.
Where would you? Yeah. I mean,
it's not as good.
Not very good. I mean, so trading AJ Brown was like, oh, they became not very good. Oh, you know what? This is Mike Vrabel's fault. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I think
Very
it's
strange.
I think it's bad. I think it's bad front office work. I think that's a bad front office, which I'm thankful for because we play them. Those are our division rivals. So
now
thankful for that.
In the AFC South, we're looking at the Texans and the Colts as the leaders in the clubhouse because the Jacksonville Jaguars had an 8-3 record after 11 or 12 weeks. What if they had their bye week already? I can't remember. 8-3, controlling their own destiny to the number 1 seed in the AFC. Not in the AFC South, in the AFC Conference. They had controlled their own destiny after week 11 or 12, and they won one more game.
Yeah, no, I mean, to me, it's classic Jaguars. I'm not surprised in the least. Before the season started, Noah, we were always having conversations off camera. He was very convinced that Jaguars were for real, and Trevor Lawrence was a top 3 guy.
Oh, I remember.
Top quarterback. Yeah, I know, and he was saying he was an MVP. He was an MVP contention.
Oh,
and the Jaguars were going to probably be in the AFC. He said the Jaguars are going to be in the AFC conference championship. I don't, because I've seen the Jaguars and how they operate. That's a dumpster fire organization. I have no respect for them, and I knew they were going to choke it somehow. And it wasn't even. I thought that maybe they were going to make the playoffs this year, and they choked it this year. So
they did.
That's the Jags. That's the Jaguars.
They did. They fired their entire defensive staff yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, that's
which I don't think is the solution. Really, I mean, the defense was fine. It wasn't good per se, but I would be making changes on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe make a change with your quarterback.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
The thing is, how do you move off of your number 1 pick from a few years ago? You can't really.
No,
but
for sure
I mean,
not.
you do everything by giving them weapons. You give them like a pretty solid offensive line. It's not the best offensive line. It's pretty solid though. Give them you give them Calvin Ridley. Evan Ingram has over 100 receptions this year. You have ETN. I mean, Tank Bigsby is fine. Like they've given him weapons, and he's been taking steps back. So I don't know if this is a Trevor Lawrence problem. I don't know if this is like a cursed dumpster fire franchise. That might be that. I don't know. I mean, but I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad that they're bad. I'm glad they can't do anything.
Yeah, and their offensive line was a little banged up this year. Cam Robinson obviously leaving just mini games on the table with injuries. I would like to point out that the Miami Dolphins had the least amount of percentage of snaps from starting offensive linemen in the entire league. Had 19 different starting offensive linemen combinations and 22 different combinations in total. Tua threw for the most yards in the NFL, 4,600 yards. And it obviously the last couple of games, not very pretty, but led the league in passing yards and had a 101 passer rating, which only two quarterbacks have had over the last 2 years, Brock Purdy and Tua Tagovailoa. Trevor, you have the weapons, you had the offensive line, you have this mastermind offensive-minded head coach in Doug Peterson. Why do you turn the ball over 6 times a game?
Yeah, why do you just constantly throw interceptions and miss easy throws all the time?
It's weird.
He just leaves huge plays on the table, which in Clemson he made every kind of play on the field.
Whatever he
Any
wanted.
kind of play he was the goddamn second coming when he was at Clemson. Everyone was like, I've never seen anyone like this. This is maybe the best quarterback prospect of all time. He makes every play happen. It gets to the NFL and it's just that goes out the window because a lot of those throws he missed on that last drive against Tennessee, a lot of guys in the league could drive against Tennessee in that situation, especially our guy CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud would make throw. I mean, we've seen it. He's done that. And Trevor Lawrence has got 2 years on him and was a number 1 pick and has been to a natty and won a natty. Like he's been there, done that with everything, and he just can't get it done even with the most weapons and help in the world. So I don't know what you do if you're the Jaguars. You got to keep him still.
You make him cut his hair. Maybe the hair's the problem.
Dude, honestly, that maybe it's like a Quinn Ewers thing, right? Not very good. Came in with so much hype. Mullet, like you're doing your thing. You think you're hot shit. Got a haircut. Took Texas to the Sugar Bowl. You know, like
pretty good.
Took him. Yeah, like that. It was a good. I think a haircut will.
It's like the opposite of Samson in the Bible. All of the power came from not cutting his hair. Maybe Trevor Lawrence gets all of his power from cutting his hair.
Yeah, no, just
get him a nice fade.
We know he's a big Bible boy, you know, and I think if he kind of went against the Bible just a little bit, he might have some success.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, he's like, just change it up a little bit, Trevor. You know, change it up. Maybe do the exact opposite, like that story you're just saying. Cut your hair. I bet you look kind of cool with a haircut. Go out there and start slinging it. Maybe you can be like more of a bad boy quarterback.
Yeah.
Once you're like a bad boy quarterback of Jacksonville, then people start to fear you a little bit.
Get like the TikTok boy haircut where it's like kind of just flowing out the front right here with a little fade. Yeah.
Yeah, get a JJ McCarthy do, you know?
There we go. Now we're cooking, Trevor. Just take some advice. Trust us on this one. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so the AFC South going to run through Houston and Indianapolis for the foreseeable future, if you ask me. I don't have faith in Jacksonville and obviously Tennessee getting rid of what we think is a very above average coach, if not like a top tier coach. I mean, he's going to be coveted and coaching free agency. He's going to have the pick of the litter probably.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I don't know where he'll go, but I mean, some team, a lot of teams are going to want him very badly.
It's going to be the New England Patriots.
I could see that.
That's what's going to happen.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Get you a younger, harder Bill Belichick.
But more player friendly probably.
Most likely. 100%,
yeah.
Actually
able to relate. Yeah. So yeah, AFC East, South talk. Let's talk about the AFC East real quick because yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, buddy. That was brutal. That was a brutal stretch to end the season. I mean, what were the Bills at one point? 6-6?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's I would turn into the Joker. I'm sorry. I'm surprised you haven't like cut into your fucking face yet.
9-3. Lost the division.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you still made it. I think you're more dangerous as a road playoff team.
You know, why not us? Right, why not us?
So exactly. You win the division. See, what the Texans have now is like, oh, your first place team. Now, first place expectations.
Mm-hmm.
A team that doesn't win their division, it's the why not us chip on our shoulder
Maybe.
Underdog mentality. Yeah. So,
maybe.
I mean, you have that now.
So I went to the game in Miami and our season tickets. Did you? It was on, I think, the last drive, maybe the second to last drive. Tyreek dropped the ball, which ended up having defensive holding on the call, so we got an automatic first down. Didn't really matter, but he catches the ball. It's a 55-yard touchdown, 60-yard touchdown. No one's behind him, just no one. And I've never like truly fallen to my knees before watching a sports moment, like in my house, in my apartment, at a game. Never done it before. I literally fell backwards onto my back on the ground in Hard Rock Stadium when that happened. And just, I mean, when the
You
punt
collapsed.
return happened, uh,
The punt return was like, oh, because I loved Miami's chances up until that point,
we were
and then the
doing
punt return
fine.
happened. I Whoever your special teams coordinator is, he's got to go.
We
He's
fired
got to
him last
go.
year, and then we brought in a new guy, and he's been better this year. But then that happened, and
That
obviously
was
Baltimore
just
had a really long return too on the kickoff, I think, as well. So not great.
that was just parting of the Red Sea
Uh-huh.
on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just yeah. I mean, that after that it was like, oh, Buffalo is like a team of destiny in this division. I think winning out, going through that gauntlet, and we were talking about Sean McDermott being fired at one point.
Ever since the
You know,
9/11 stuff came out, they're 5-0.
yeah, no, I mean, and we were talking about that and how funny it was and how like unhinged it was. Buffalo became an unhinged team of destiny in y'all's division. Which, listen, man, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
It fucking happens to the best of us. I remember having to watch Tennessee. We've talked about it. We talked about it earlier in this episode. I remember watching Tennessee in the AFC Championship game, 9-7, and I was like, "Wow, that would be nice to make it to the AFC Championship game. If they win, I'm going to be sad."
Mhm.
Thankfully, they didn't because the Chiefs were the Chiefs.
Right.
But hey, I've seen it firsthand before. Teams in your division like come back and be the team of that division, the team to beat of that division. So
Yeah.
but like you said, you got underdog, you got chip on your shoulder now.
Yeah. I just want to point this out about that game. I think the Dolphins are up 7-0 in the second quarter. Already had 2 turnovers at that point. Eli Apple has a pick, and Eli Apple hasn't done anything this season worth of like anything good.
Yeah, he's not
So
good.
it's on this Dolphin sideline, or this is happening towards the Dolphin sideline around the 35-yard line. Eli Apple is matched up on Stephon Diggs, who just went through motion. Jalen Ramsey is sprinting over there, telling Eli Apple to get off of Stephon Diggs because he is shadowing him. Eli Apple then waves him off. Just, I got this one. Instantly gives
No.
up 65 yards down to the 5-yard line. And then on 3rd and goal, where they could stop them and it'd be a 7-3 game, or maybe it was 14-7 already at that point, and then, or no, it was 7-0 at that point. So you keep the lead at 7-3. You stop them on 3rd and goal. They bat the pass out of the air, except for it just floats. And Eli Apple had already cut the route. So if it was a true pass, he probably intercepts it or bats it down. No touchdown, no harm, no foul. As soon as it got swatted, Eli Apple just put his head down and started running towards the Bills sideline for some reason, and Trent Sherfield catches it in the back of the end zone, 7-7. And then we didn't run the ball in the second half. And I've just like experienced this far too many times in the last 25 years. Week 18, week 17 and past. It's not our week. It never will be our week. We are the Miami Dolphins. We will always be the Miami Dolphins. This is who the Miami Dolphins are. Frauds can never get it done in the point in the time that matters. It's just I'm broken. I am a broken human being.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you were just saying, like if it happened to me, this would have to be shown in court, in a courtroom.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I understand. Or I mean, I don't really understand because like we were fully talking about the Dolphins. Oh wow, the Super Bowl team in the AFC. To they're going on the road to play in negative a million
Yeah.
wind chill
More than
in
likely
Kansas
the
City.
road is Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo. At
I
all
mean,
3 of those places.
yeah, I was fully prepared for the Texans to be a road team, and I was like, not gonna win the first round. Probably gonna be playing like a a big dog on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, now we don't have to, but now you have to.
Yep.
And I'm like, I think you can fully beat Kansas City. Whoever's after that is like, that's a problem. It's gonna be a problem. Tyreek. Well, by the way, Tyreek coming home in
Oh yeah.
Tyreek revenge game. So
Script writers
that's all I got.
were all over it, just all over it.
Yeah, this was quite the matchups that were set this past weekend.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy in Green Bay, Tyreek coming back home to KC,
Matt Stafford in Detroit,
Jared Goff in LA.
Yeah,
on the same map.
That's a lot of Deshaun watching from
the suite.
presser.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Deshaun was playing though? Man, that would be that place would be rocking. That place.
I think a lot of crimes would be committed in the stands.
Absolutely. But yeah, AFC East, while a roller coaster at the end, especially because like I don't want to say we saw it coming. Like y'all had the chance, but Buffalo was on a goddamn hell path. They were going for it. They were gunning for it.
They get lucky against the Giants. Probably should have lost to the Patriots there. They had one other game where they got lucky.
They're close.
There's like 3 games that they probably should have lost that they ended up winning, and the Dolphins should have won the Tennessee game up 14 with 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left. I mean, how do you lose that game? Yeah, it's just typical Dolphins. I'm back. It's basketball season for me. Hockey season, baseball's right around the corner. Getting really excited.
You got the offs, man. You got the offs coming up.
I know.
I think y'all
Skylar Thompson isn't starting for the Dolphins this time around, so that is a plus. Tua did play 17 games, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I think I think you have a fine chance. I think you have a fine chance in the offs.
I'm back. I got my starter jacket on. I got the toboggan on. We're good. I'm back. -2. It's not even that cold.
Dude, run just Devon Achane, just
run it 40 times. For the love of God, just run it 40 times because it worked in the first half. Just do it.
Mostert needs to play.
Yeah, Mostert and Waddle, fingers crossed, they're back. I definitely think Waddle's playing. I hope Mostert's back to take the workload off of Achane. We'll see what happens. We'll preview that on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it later.
Yeah. Speaking of later this week, Big City Wings, marquee location, Texans watch party with
Texans
Apollo.
watch party. Yes, sir. 3:30 Saturday. When the game starts, Central Time. Be there or be square because we're going to be drinking beer and having a good time, eating delicious appetizers, and maybe hanging out after if they have Peacock. I don't know. Maybe you can watch the Miami game there. So yeah. Off marquee location off of Katy Freeway. So be there 3:30 on Saturday.
Big City Wings. Shout out for them for sponsoring Apollo Media and this show as well. Love some Big City Wings. Just the best wings we've had in this great state of Texas. You can't go wrong with Big City Wings.
Crispy, juicy, flavorful, saucy. Love it.
Great beer.
Yeah, you're telling me.
But lastly, the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers steal the last 2 playoff spots in the NFC and the AFC. They snuck in there with like 9 wins. Did the Steelers get 10? Steelers might have got 10.
Steelers did get 10.
They got
which
10.
Is pretty crazy.
Which we said you had to have 10 wins to make the AFC playoffs, and everyone had 10 wins or more. But yeah, the Packers sneak in. The Bears couldn't do it. The Bears Super Bowl was lost once again on Week 18. Shout out to Bears fans. Justin Fields, are you staying? Are you going? I don't know. But Jordan Love is here.
It seems pretty split, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Some Bears fans are saying, well, we want him to stay. Other Bears fans and also fans of other teams in the division are saying, I hope, or the Packers fans were saying they hope Justin Fields stays.
Yeah,
because they love paying him. Some Bears fans want him to stay. Some Bears Bears fans want him to leave for like Drake May or Caleb Williams or something. No idea what's going to happen. Don't even know what's going to happen with Eberflus.
No.
Bears have some decisions coming up, and also shout out to the Packers because I think at one point, honestly, I never really counted them in at all this season. I was just kind of like, they'll be there. You look at Jordan Love's numbers at the end of the year, and you're like, oh wait, holy shit!
Second most passing touchdowns.
Yeah, he's over 30 and like a few rushes. Like they're good. Like they're not maybe not great, but like they're fucking. They can play. They can play, man.
Yeah, because
So shout out to them.
every time we talked about the Packers in this season, they had a big game. Jordan Love looks good. He was like Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. It's the same like jump throws and just perfect weird passing that they would always do. And then the next
Yeah.
week they would lose to the Giants in primetime. We were like, whoa, what happened? What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? And then earlier in the season they lose to the Falcons. We're like, this team stinks. What are we doing? He lined up on the right guard. He didn't even get under center to take a snap and fell over. Like, what are we doing? And then the next week he just goes off, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, sure. The fourth quarter comeback against the Saints early in the year, we're like, huh, okay, all right,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
A lot of ups, a lot of downs for them, and they still ended up. I didn't know who was going to get that last spot. I was thinking it might have been like the Saints,
Saints,
but
Seahawks, yeah, everybody was kind of in
yeah,
there, right?
they were all gunning for it, and the Packers were just that one team that no one really thought they would make the playoffs, but ended up they're a playoff team.
Yep.
So shout out them. That's cool.
And Dez has already had flashbacks.
Yeah, but come on, like
I mean, I don't see it either, but I can see where he's coming from because, I mean, I don't know if you can ever get over that kind of sports trauma.
yeah, especially I mean, the catch that never was, and also that insane Aaron Rodgers
The double
drive.
Hail Mary drive.
They're double Harry, yeah. The Jared Cook catches it on the sideline. Yeah, I mean, crazy games with those two teams in the past in the playoffs, and we're honestly pretty lucky to get another one.
Yeah,
maybe hopefully it's another crazy game. We'll see.
it'd be fun. And then the Steelers are like not a good team, and yet they won 10 games, and they could absolutely beat Buffalo on the road. Like, no doubt in my mind that they could. I don't believe that they will, but there's also the other side of me that's like Mike Tomlin's just gonna like will them to win. Like, they're just gonna hurt Josh Allen somehow, and they win.
I really, if that's the, I mean, I really do. This is so. There's always going to be this one game on Wild Card Weekend where it's like, the team got blown out because they kind of just stumbled in,
Yeah.
and like, who are we playing? Oh, Josh Allen, and then Josh Allen puts 40 on your head. You
Mhm.
know, like this might be like that game, but especially because TJ Watt is going to be out.
That's
He is
unfortunate.
confirmed
Yeah.
already. That is unfortunate. He's confirmed out. But like you said, like Mike Tomlin will have this team being physical. They're always physical. They are a really physical, well coached engine. So who knows? I think it'll be a blowout. But like you said, you never fucking know with the Steelers, because a few weeks ago we were like, they're so cooked. Mitch Trubisky's out here starting games and being bad. They're so cooked. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Mason Rudolph descends down from like an angel and just leads them to the playoffs, which is insane to me
So
because
funny.
they have been not very good at all this season. I will go back to week 4 when the Texans put 30 on their heads. Like, we weren't even that good around then, and we fucking dominated them. So Steelers continue to be one of the most confusingly impressive teams in the league with Mike Tomlin at the helm, and he will never, ever, 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 ever be fired ever in his life, and he will never have a losing season ever, ever, ever.
He's like Don Shula, legitimately.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
he's got a Super Bowl and lost a Super Bowl, but won a Super Bowl, and then has never had a losing season. I think Don Shula had
like,
1 or 2.
Tomlin's up there as one of the best coaches of all time, which is wild because he's still active, and the end is nowhere in sight for him. So
yeah, it's the opposite of Bill Belichick, where he wrote a 20-year run with Tom Brady to success, and then ever since Tom Brady left and before Tom Brady was there, not great, not good.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who's at quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, apparently, because they're just going to win 8+ games every year, and now 9+ games.
They're gonna just figure it out with their front seven, and maybe you want a hot take right here. I'm obviously I'm the hugest Texans fan, hugest
for sure.
I think TJ Watt has officially become better than JJ Watt. I think so, dude. TJ Watt, JJ unfortunately had those injury problems. TJ Watt, he's insanity. He's insane. He's nutty. Like, he also does more. I mean, he's in coverage sometimes. So I don't know.
Do we think TJ has a better season than JJ's MVP non-MVP season?
That's the only thing that JJ probably has on him at this point is the craziest season for a defensive player ever, in my opinion.
What do you have? 3
But
defensive touchdowns, like 3 offensive touchdowns, and then
yeah,
20
and two
sacks.
defense. Yeah, I mean, like that was crazy. He had 1,000,000 TFLs. Like, yeah, that was insane. That's the only thing JJ has on TJ. But TJ is going to have he's going to like lead this league sacks every year.
Just every year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he did it again this year. He's 19. You know, he had almost 20 sacks this year. Like it just completely flew under the radar too, and it's
Yeah.
because he just does it all the time.
Yeah.
So TJ's crazy, and the Steelers are crazy. They're always going to be a crazy team. Love it though. I like the Steelers when the Steelers are good and in the playoffs. It's good for football, I think. So,
All right, right off the riff, what are the 4 teams that are really good that make the NFL better? Like when those teams are good, the NFL's better.
I think Steelers won.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other one is the Packers. So it's
Okay.
good year football currently. I do think when the Niners are good, they have so much history, but they're not annoying about it. So like the Niners being good is good for football.
Uh-huh.
Man, I don't.
You gotta say it.
I wanted to say Dallas.
You gotta say
also their history. No, but they're so annoying about it though. Like, yeah, I like when their team is always good and in the playoffs, but you're just being like, yeah, no, that's what we do, but not like an obnoxious,
Well,
like,
yeah, that's fair.
That 4th team, a toss up between like Dallas or not New England, fuck New England. Honestly, I think you know what, in my opinion, Seattle.
Okay.
I think when
Seattle's
Seattle's good, team. It's like yeah, and I think it's good. Just they have all around good vibes, all around great vibes.
Okay.
And they've had enough success in the last 10 years where it's like they've got the history now. Pete Carroll's so likable. They have cool uniforms, cool stadium. I think when they're like in the playoffs and doing their thing, it's like, okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
They missed it this year, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so
correct answer is the Cowboys, but I don't hate it. That's not bad.
I don't want the Cowboys to be good.
I
ever.
know. I'm just saying it's way better. Their fans are very funny. Living in Dallas now, I've got the full season of it. I only experienced it from afar, and now I've seen it in person, and it's very fun. It's very funny.
I'm sure.
Every day.
They are head cases.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This weekend, Saturday afternoon, 3:30, Big City Wings, marquee location in Katy, right?
Cool. Yes, off the Katy Freeway.
There we go.
The marquee location. It's next to like Edwards 24 or the Edwards and Red Robins and the Improv. Like, we'll put the address in the link in the description.
Yeah,
for sure.
So go check out Big City Wings, especially this Saturday, to watch the Texans playoff game. It's a home playoff game, so if you're not going to the game, make sure you head to your nearest Big City Wings. If you're not going to the marquee location, get some wings, get some beers, watch some Texans football, winning a playoff game. We're going to speak that into existence, winning a playoff game in Houston on a Saturday afternoon, so you don't have to play on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. No, I'm ready to play. I'm ready for a Sunday playoff game.
There it is.
That's what I'm ready for.
There it is.
Yeah.
And this podcast is also brought to you by Celebrity Mint. Go check out celebritymint.com to go check out the Ric Flair, Mike Tyson, and more collectibles. They're all graded, precious metals, all the good stuff at celebritymint.com. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. This has been Play Action Takes, Apollo Media's NFL podcast, and Noah is sick with COVID in New York City. Classic.
Classic New York.
Classic. Bundle up if you're going on the road this week, like me. I'm not going on the road, but I'm going to do this in my apartment.
Yeah. Well, crank it down to like 50 and just hang out. Drink a cup of coffee or hot cocoa and enjoy that game, man. We'll talk about it later this week.
Yeah. We'll see you back Thursday. Let's watch some football.
Hey, watch NFL, watch football.